as I have previously stated. One construction was substituted with another one. There you go. For this stuff I was previously told, as I'm referring to overkill issue. Yeah, overkill issue that was planned ahead. How these people have gotten, I don't know, like greatly discounted work from the government, or some credits involved or whatever. Who knows what the story might be now, but 20 years ago I was pretty much told that they're gonna destroy me like this. But this is what I refer to as overkill issue. So in previous videos, if you're not sure what I'm referring to, see them. And that's what we have going on. Again, April the 2nd, 2012. Today is Monday. Yeah, and this is from my window, again from the room, and this is also April the 2nd, 2012. This stuff has been going on over 6-7 months now. It's just once there is construction work stopped, this stuff goes on and on and on. This is the April the 12th. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a video, and I'm going to make a little scan here of the area to show you what the situation is, because it's just a madness that goes on and on. This is on one side of the house, so I hope you like that. This is what we have going on, pretty much. Today's Thursday, April the 12th, 2012. I'm also going to show you this. This is my boat, inflatable boat. It costed for $500 US. And when I left back in the States in 2008, March of 2008, in a parenthesis, my father had placed him like this. I've just thrown him like that, and on top of it, wires and everything else that would, really puncture the boat and cause damages. Because he simply disliked anything I ever had, and it's really bothering to him, everything I ever had. And despite all this here, see this? Not a lot of space, but too much space. Yeah? But exactly the opposite when it comes to sister's daughter and her fiancé, Jewish Serbian. They got a nice little place for their belongings. That's exactly where my boat was stored, but now instead was thrown away, and their belongings were properly placed, while mine was like this, simply wasted, destroyed, ruined. It's pure evil we are talking about. Pure satanic evil. But that's how it is.
Hello and welcome to this part 81. Today is April the 14th, 2012. It is Saturday, and I am about to talk to you about what government refer to as mind control technology, primarily, and secondary, will disclose to you the truth about government-sponsored terrorism, or the real perpetrators of 9/11, therefore those who have truly created 9/11 and have attempted to blame one, in case of broad public, on what was Osama bin Laden, while behind the curtain were engaging in severe genocide against white American population as well as European population. It is ongoing genocide. It is Zionist, Negro, Hispanic, Asian, New World Order type of multiculturalism, is terrorism type of crime that has to be stopped at all costs, or will take toll on unprecedented number of white people throughout the United States of America and European Union I should say worldwide instead.
Now, I'm not a friend of any conspiracies and so on and so forth. I am probably the most doubtful person in the world, assuring myself like 100 times before I make decision for something. I'm a but the most reliable source, I would say, according to what we watch right now. But in respect to this conspiracy theories, or I should say their validity, I think my testament, my witnessing to what have taken in respect to human rights denial, basic human rights denial, in my case, I believe that tells everything. It tells everything, folks, because it didn't take case only in my case, but it have taken in numerous other cases. Very possible in your case, in case of your family. Yet, when all of you Americans have simply quit on realizing what was taking place due to your allowing the state of neurosis, psychosis, crisis take over you entirely, completely your state of mind, I haven't. It didn't matter that I was told so many times before to think out of the box. You know, one of the forms of American brainwashing is also to tell people or teach them how to think. But the whole thing is nothing else than brainwashing it is. That's all there is to it. This is really out of the towers, not out of the box. Neurosis, psychosis, terror, crisis, jumping. The land of brave and free. Justice and equality. Freedoms. Constitution and human rights. Oh yes, human rights. Yes, right here you can see them. The human rights. In lies and posterity, the United States of America, followed by their puppet states,
by the end of this video, there should be arrest warrants issued for the highest officials of the United States of America government that include terrorist number one at this time, whose name is Negro Barak Obama. Therefore, it is extremely important video, and let's start in this edition 81, part 81. Yes, unfortunately, with what are mind control weapons. I would refer to them rather as technology used to destroy, ruin individual. I did like this when it came to part 81 because I deemed this to be unprecedented crime at this point in time. Organized, designed, blueprinted by human rights courts alone, in complete, I should say, parallel to human rights organizations such as Amnesty International and United Nations. I believe those to be the core of this crime. And as well, of course, on behalf of governments such as United States of America, Canada, Germany, France, Britain, and other governments worldwide. Not free press, media, but instead the most severe censorship of genocide in entire history of humankind. not bullying. What these criminals, these governments, New World Order, multiculturalism, terrorist governments would like to portray to public as when the mindless crimes are taking place against white targeted population, for which they claim how it is the bullying that we have to stop the bullying. In fact, those who claim that bullying has to be stopped are those who perform bullying. Not human rights, what for instance Mrs. Clinton or Mr. Clinton, two individuals deeply involved in this case, in this crime against the whites, would like us to see or pursue as they would want us to talk about human rights, while in fact this human rights technology is used to deprive us of human rights. Not to deprive us of human rights, but to engage with severe genocide against us. Therefore, with extreme acts of war against targeted white population. As I have already explained to you in 3 previous videos, 78, 79, and video number 80, United States of America government have literally hijacked my YouTube account, while my blogs and primary email address with all the contacts were simply deleted simultaneously with this action, so the public would not know what exactly is going on in this case. Therefore, we are talking about number 1, what is censorship, and number 2, since the account is hijacked, what is United States of America government attempt to recreate, to portray story of mine on their own, to create their own story out of my own story. Therefore, we already see this. It's exactly the type of action that United States of America government have done in order to further go on. In this case, have one shut down as soon as possible and remove me from the process. The reason for that is this very video, I believe, because the situation is getting, at this point, probably I would say unsustainable for the highest United States of America government officials, as previously stated, and which I will explain in this video. I will go first to what is subject number 1, mind control weapons. Yes, well, what government claims are mind control weapons, but I deem them to be in fact nothing else than technology used to destroy, ruin, literally brain burn individual. And in my case, I have on my mind overwhelmingly high usage targeting me with what are electromagnetic fields. This electromagnetic fields that are overwhelmingly so high that have even caused what is computer malfunctioning.
Okay, so just how bad is radiation? What am I trying to explain to you? The radiation is so bad in this room of mine that the mouse, as soon as it's plugged, will cause screen windows to behave erratically, impossible for use. Windows would scroll down on their own and are just erratic and totally creating impossible computer for use. Now let's see how that looks like. I'm about to log, let's say this one here to Facebook. Okay, there you go. We're logged into Facebook. I'm gonna go to this screen here. Yeah, and here's the mouse. USB. As soon as you turn one in the port, this is what goes on. Look, it's plugged in. There you go. You see what this is? There you go. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Look, I'm not touching. I'm not doing anything. That's all there is. There you go. It's changing the screen on its own, and it's scrolling down, and it's just going nuts. Just going berserk. You don't have to do absolutely anything. It does it on its own. There you go. This is due to overwhelmingly high radiation, and it's not caused only on this computer, but was previously caused as well on desktop, on this computer, and also on my previous laptop. It always takes place in this room. It first started 2 months ago, and then it stopped, and now it started again. Situation was no different during 2007 when I was in so-called Slovenia in this very same room, and it the same situation. To me, it cost me the same situation when using my laptop. As a matter of fact, this laptop right here, HP, okay, that's my previous laptop. These are very good computers we're talking about. We're talking about very good desktop and very good HP. It's now replaced with this model, which is really good computer. It's about 2 years old. It's a really good technology. It doesn't have nothing to do with technology else than a simple fact of electromagnetic radiation. I don't have an instrument to measure this radiation, but know that mouse is extremely sensitive to overwhelming radiation, electromagnetic fields, and that's exactly what we are talking about here. I mean, you gotta see this. You see what this is? This is a mouse control. See, as soon as I would plug in mouse, computer is dead. It's finished. Okay, so I'm outside on the terrace now. You see, trying this out. Still, it's erratic. Look at the laptop inside the basement with the mouse plugged in. Nothing like before. There you go. There you go. I guess there's no comments necessary. And why did I realize that? How did I find out about this? I did research the internet, and it warned out how whatever the magnetic field is present, it's got effect on mouse. So it would interfere with computer. The computer would improperly function, and I was extremely skeptical about it. I was like, no, I don't have any that strong radiation inside of that room. I was wrong. I do. I know there is radiation plenty, as I'm about to explain in this video, but I didn't know it's that strong. No, that's too much. Yeah, today's April the 9th, 2012. It is Monday. Alright. I took a walk in order to research and prove electromagnetic radiation, and we'll go to this barn right here. far enough from a housing from this particular house right there. That's the residence, and we'll see if we'll do this research, we do this experiment and see what electromagnetic influence have at this point on my laptop in this particular barn, just to give it a shot and see what's going on. Okay, what am I doing here now? This is the mouse. It's plugged in. You can see the light. It's on. What am I doing here? Why have I come now under this barn? Well, because it's, for one thing, it's raining outside. Okay, it's my stuff. I would have stopped over there somewhere at the edge of the village, but it just didn't work out that way. So I did stop in this barn. It's raining, and I'm about to prove the theory behind electromagnetic fields that are used to literally prevent me from using my laptop. Okay, now look at this. Now we're going to be using exclusively. I can already tell you it's functioning immaculately. I mean, just look at that. I mean, this is. I can't really get the internet, but this is working like when computer is pretty much new. I am solely moving now the cursor with my mouse, so it's functioning just the way it should. I can pull the programs. I can pull whatever I want out there, and there you go. It's working the way it should, no matter what. It's not scrolling down, it's not erratic, it's not switching between the windows and so on. It's immaculate, simple as this. Therefore, my theory is very, very much correct. The radiation is present throughout that residence, all the way to the basement, where it's significantly reduced. Look at this. Now look at this. We're going to be using the mouse. Okay, that's the edge of the screen. That's where the cursor is used to move the window up and down, and it's working immaculately. Okay, it's not jumping, it's not erratic, it's fine. Yeah, and as I stated, in basement is much reduced. However, throughout the property is something is going on over there. They're doing to literally prevent me from using computer with a mouse, and it's therefore making my job really, really difficult, if not impossible. Okay, basically back in the residence, the same stuff, and I am just one more time, the same program, the same open office, the same program. There you go. See this? This is inside of my room, back inside of my room. Mouse, USB, and I'm about to plug in the USB. Now look at the mouse. There you go. It's plugged in, and we have the program. Now look at the program, what it's going to start doing. Look at this. There you go. See that? That's it.
It's pretty much useless. If you would attempt to use one as such when advertising online, we're attempting to pursue your rights in this free press media, or what is complete censorship of genocide, I don't think so. You could get very far. You would become completely demented, because it's erratic. It's not only made to irritate, but it's really made to dement individual. And secondary, I will remind you of situation per what have taken place against me in respect to forced brain implants. I have already mentioned on my previous videos forced brain implants. I have entirely explained them on my blogs, how those have taken place against me. However, we'll also use this opportunity to state how my online blogs, which I have uploaded from Blogger, from Gmail, from Google, on my computer, were removed from my system. The government have literally scanned my computer and have removed everything in respect to brain implants which I have posted online. So I'm gonna have to create all new blog in respect to forced brain implants, and who knows how long that one even is gonna last. Well, I'm gonna use this video to explain to you what have taken place and what this overwhelming, manic, really psychopathic usage of this fields are used for. Pretty much the usage of this is so overwhelmingly high that would cause you in your head heat. It seems like the electrodes, the implants get somehow heated, and that will prevent you basically from sleep, and I will really place you in bad mood, will spoil you, really everything. Your sleep, of course. If you don't get sleep, you really don't function properly. And secondary, dement you, literally dement you. I believe that use of these weapons on me at this point is something that government have, I'm going to say, insanely depend on, realizing the situation, how they will not be capable to stop me from pursuing my rights. As I'm about to explain to you, in continuation, in 2003, they have implanted me with one more deep brain stimulation electrode, and now they're using all this technology as a last resource to basically prevent me from stating the truth about what have taken place and uncovering the real crime about, or I should say terrorism, about what have taken place for 9/11, who did it, how, and how that is used today, before 9/11, and how it's used today against us, as a matter of fact of what is taking place against us. Not only assassination attempts have taken place, not only that I am locked here already for like a year and a half, or since November 10, but the government is using this last resource to get me either destroyed, brain burned, ruined, or would compel me in some act which could result in violence, crime, which they extremely anticipated with McAllister procedures, or even what would be suicide. And I will explain to you that also in continuation, how that also government have used the McAllister procedures to compel individual in suicide with this extreme, I'm not going to say terrorism, but genocidal tools, as mentioned here. Now let's go first to what government have deleted, okay? Or my blogs, the information that was posted on my blogs about forced brain implants. And so it have happened toward end of 1997, It was in Miami downtown at 234 Northeast 1st Street, in old location, right next to Abbott Exchange. That myself and my ex-wife, now we are talking about Ecuadorian Indian, South American, have assisted a group of individuals that appeared to be of Mid-Eastern descent, Mid-Easterners. It must have been on Saturday in morning hours, sometimes at I would estimate 10 o'clock or so, that the group of these people appeared in the store, and during assistance, they started to converse. In fact, converse about how they are in the United States to create attack, terrorist attack. They're pretty heavy, pretty stupid, pretty childish. Situation that have placed me in a mode that look, I already didn't care about this blacks, Hispanics, Asians, what they have to say when dealing with them. My idea was to sell and have them out of the store as fast as possible. This was beyond idiotic to me, and it smelled on troubles more than anything else. It was very unpleasant to hear stupidities like this that are really troublesome, heavy stuff, nonsense stuff. And it was in front of my wife. My wife was there, and she seemed to be motivated in that story, and she also was the one that brought these people inside of the store. It was her habit that she used to have, that she used to frequently bring the people that I would not even know, and it was like, hey Bobby, look who is here. And I was like, what? Who is here? I mean, people like you see like first time or whatever, and it's like I stated, I didn't bother with these people at all. But if we go back to the situation, my idea was pretty much to complete the sale and get these people out of the door entrance as fast as possible, pretty much. And I did so, and once they walked out of the store, I have followed out to see where they're going. But to tell you the truth, I was in shock. I was simply shocked. And my ex-wife, I told her, I said, what are we gonna do now? And she was like, yeah. And I said, what are we gonna do? And she was like, well, what can we do? What can we do? I said, I don't know. Call the police. Or something. I told her, I tell you what, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see on the corner if there is a police, if I can get the police, and call the police. Just have the police, call the police. As I walked out of the store, there were already other people coming inside of the store. I did go to the corner. I did walk all the way to this Cuban coffee shop at the end of the block, more than anything, I was confused, and the reason for that confusion pretty much was I felt sort of hopeless in that situation, because my life consisted pretty much of nothing at that point. Toward end of 1997, I did not even have the right to job. I didn't have any rights whatsoever, zero rights whatsoever. In 1995, upon entry in the United States of America, the Jewish United States of America immigration officer, Jew, have told me a story no different from pro-Yugoslav communist scum, or how I will not even have the right to stay inside of the United States of America, and how it would be the best thing for me to just return back to Europe, and if unwilling to do so, they will make my life literally impossible, is what I'm trying to tell you. And they did so. My jobs were not really jobs according to education, as educated for. Mechanic and machine mechanic and mechanical engineering technician, two professions. Instead, the jobs that I have received were bottom line jobs. And you could say I was a loser if it was not for the government that have done it. But taking all this situation in consideration, and my coming in front of the police officer with that type of story, it seemed to me more than anything troublesome for me, especially because of the United States of America immigration. Very difficult situation that was asking you basically to walk in front of the police officer and make some report like that would create for you more than anything troubles. I returned inside of the store. I went back inside of the store, and the store was already have more people inside, and my ex-wife insisted on how I have to assist them, entertain them, while she have to run for a product which they have requested, since there is no product as such inside of the store. And so she had to go for the product to another location. Concerning the situation that I have experienced, and I will tell you, I'm not ashamed to admit I did not even know how to literally dial the telephone, and I didn't know how to dial literally to call the police or what. She said, just forget about it. Just take care of the customers, and we're going to talk about that later on and so on. Let's just. She walked out of the store. She went. Situation, however, repeated again. This very same situation repeated again in what was toward end of 98, or maybe even the beginning of 99, but I will talk about this in continuation. Anyhow, this pretty much was it for what became more than obvious United States of America government have used and have turned later on into abduction. This is how. Towards spring of 1998, that was just a few months later, I have already before this situation have taken place, I have had, as I stated, since my first job, I have had human rights organizations coming, such as Amnesty International and United Nations, as well as Norwegian humanist crew. The brain surgeons, psychiatrists, psychologists inside of the store to literally threaten me because I was not willing to get involved with so-called minorities beyond my job duties. Now all of a sudden, you have had again these criminals appear in my store, together with American Zionist Alex Jones.
Werner von Braun, head of NASA, Hitler's top Nazi scientist. Daughter, second command. I can go right down every department, CIA, everything. Run by Nazis.
Alex Jones, inside of the ex-wife store, together with a Ron Paul, together with a Perry, together with Romney, other officials, government officials, whatever those CIA, FBI, whatever that garbage was, that have entered inside of my store, and they started to suggest me, they have you. They have you. Have me what? What have I done that they have me? Nobody suggested who have me, what have me. The idea was they have you. You can only imagine how that made me feel. They have you. On spring of 1998, the people, this very same people that from United Nations, from Amnesty International, the people that I have just mentioned, this Zionist, Jewish, Negro, Hispanic, Asian criminals who have continued to come back to threaten me with the lobotomies since my first job in '96, have gone ahead and have abducted me to take me first for what was a terror trip to Scandinavia, and from Scandinavia to what was previously Yugoslavia, and it's now known as so-called Slovenia, on behalf of what they claimed was multiculturalism issues. And what would be, according to them, because they did not go away from my store even after I have threatened them with a physical remover, with a physically removing them, while with literally beating them up because they would not go out of the store, and at the same time I had a wife that I had to allow her to invite these people back and was compelled to tolerate them against my will. Therefore, these people were coming back inside of the store to threaten, and was conditioned that if they would not be allowed to come back inside of the store, as they are her friends, she considered them as friends, I would be pretty much, she would get divorced from me and I would have to go back to so-called Slovenia, therefore deported. First or prior to 1998 abduction suggested how I could earn, number one, money with what would be brain implants. They have suggested me how the brain implants, by complaining about the brain implants, I could earn the money. There is no need to tell. There is no need to tell what I have told them on many occasions. I didn't have a baseball bat, but I have repeatedly told them on many occasions to get lost out of my store until I have actually decided to find out what is this people are talking about. And they have come up with idea. My idea was basically, I said, okay, yeah, let's do this, brain implants, whatever you want to do. Let's do this. Let's find out about this. I'm gonna be able to claim to the human rights organizations about the brain implants. Why don't we go and we're gonna have this brain implants? My idea was to get to the first hospital whatever they're going to do, the brain implants, according to these criminals, call the police, find out who is doing that, call the police, and get these people simply arrested. But it was not like this. Instead, I woke up. No, I did not woke up. One morning in '98, after I have received this conditional residence, I was instead one morning thrown out of my bed, unconscious, drugged up, thanks to my wife, to this Indian, Ecuadorian wife. And at probably, I would say, sometimes 7:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning, it was the time when people hurry on the jobs and in the schools and so on in the States. Maybe I don't know, maybe 8:30, who knows? Transported from, I say that because I remember people hearing about that, transported with ambulance vehicle from my apartment in Miami Beach to what was local hospital. During the transport, however, I could hear he is an Egyptian. His name is Najib. He used to be frequent visitor to the store, and he used to come to offer us merchandise. I will repeat to you, he is a very nasty, he's a Nazi. Now we have him, do him, just lobotomize him, lobotomize basically everything that these people have threatened me with. I was now facing, while his name is Robinson is his name, and he's Colombian, another bandit that was coming inside of the wife's store. Basically all her friends from the past was literally depriving me from the air and was choking me. He was torturing me with the air lack. I didn't have, they have placed me an oxygen mask on my mouth, and they have deprived me of air that I was literally choking. They were terrorizing me all the way until the ambulance finally stopped at what was first Miami-Jackson Hospital. On operation table, just like I have stated previously on my videos, was conditioned with either unconditional acceptance of a violent multiculturalism, or in other words, my getting involved beyond job duties with them, literally accept them in my life, in my residence, and even married with them. Yugoslav issue was tremendous issue, which tells me a lot that communist scum, pro-Yugoslav communist scum, have had arranged, and as I have already stated before, upon my arrival in the United States of America, I have had first what was a Jew in the United States of America immigration, who was conditioned me. He said, you are not going to have the right to stay here. You will not be allowed to stay in the United States of America. You need to turn around and you need to go back to so-called Slovenia. Exactly what the communist scum have told me in so-called Slovenia will take place against me in case I would decide to stay in United States of America. They will blackball me. They will make my life impossible, just as Jews have told me. On question, what will you do to me if I will not comply with violent terms and conditions? Just as I have previously stated in my videos, I was told we will lobotomize you on the spot. No wonder that I have agreed to these violent terms and conditions, and very soon have gone through United States Airport, through Miami International Airport. I was transported to Scandinavia. U.S. immigration officer was, United States immigration officer, bandit criminal, was literally knew that I was abducted, because Norwegian abductor have told him how he gave him the paperwork from American authorities, but have, for his sake, for his cover-up, for his clearance that he provided on that paper, required me to say how I am leaving the country voluntarily on the wheelchair, under McCullough procedure, drugged up, did not McCullough procedure. That means that you are practically unconscious to the point where you completely comply with criminals, whatever they have to say, or as unconscious as you are, you can only guess yourself what can happen to you. I did not dare to guess what can happen to you once the control, basic functions are taken away from you. It pretty much equals the situation of having the knife under your throat. Therefore, it's up to you what you're going to agree or what you're not going to agree, or how long is it going to take before you're going to agree, or maybe be even killed, is what that is. Scandinavia, 1998, perhaps 10 days. We have landed in Göteborg, have stayed probably about a week in that Göteborg, and then after 3 days or so, my father with this communist scum here, neighbor, have came with other politicians, with other communist scum, to retrieve me from Karlstad, Sweden. I believe that it might have been somewhere, did not take much upon their appearance that we were pretty much gone in Karlstad. I was maybe not very much with my caretaker, Swedish guy. His name is Dan Anderson, I have already mentioned, born in Avesta, have obtained job in Karlstad, Sweden, in psychiatric hospital, and then in order for him, for a willingness to perform this kind of a terrorist attacks on multiculturalism behalf, abductions, extraordinary renditions and stuff like that, the Norwegian psychiatrists, neurosurgeons have obtained him a better position in what was also Norway. They have frequently used teams which were not professionally trained, educated as psychiatrists or surgeons and so on, but were capable to perform many functions. Therefore, like undercover stuff like that you could not say he did, because it would look totally ridiculous and stuff. But that's how the government protect themselves from liabilities. You have to understand that crime like this, it's everything about liabilities, and it's pretty much nothing almost that you could point at criminals that are involved in this type of crime. Number one thing is liability in the crime. You have to understand, number one thing in the government crime is liability. The traces, the crime have to be performed in such a way that nobody can basically point at you. Number one thing, the name of the crime is liabilities, my friends. This is number one lesson about the government crime.